What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration. We're actually going to be doing our very first modification to the 2024 Denali Ultimate. This being an Ultimate is something I think should have been on there right from the get-go. So, very first glance, when we look at this truck, what sticks out to you? To me, it's these black flares. They're just that kind of crinkle textured black plastic, kind of like the mirror caps, and to me they look kind of horrible. I could see them on a normal Sierra, that would be fine. Once you go to the Denali, and especially when you go to the Denali Ultimate, like this truck is, it should have paint matched flares on it, or wheel openings, whatever you want to call them. And the other thing that really stands out to me is these orange marker lights. They're on the front and the back, as you can see. So today we're going to change it. So here's my brand new GM paint match flares, and they're going to look so much better on there, much more premium to that look than the crinkle black plastic that's on there. These are plastic too, but they're at least painted. My truck is Onyx Black, and these are GM. Here's the box I got them in. I did pick these up at Laura before I left. If your truck's Onyx Black, that's going to be your part number right there. As you can see, that is a GM part. On the back here, they do have all the clips already installed. Let me set this down quick. Now, when you open up your box, they're going to come in these padded sleeves, and then they have cardboard and stuff to protect them from damage and getting scratches and scrapes and whatnot. Now, obviously, you can option your truck when you order it with the paint match flares, but when you're building your truck, if you do option it with the paint match flares, I believe it's an $1,800 option just to have paint match flares. However, if you buy the GM part, the exact same part they're going to put on your truck at the assembly line, these from Laura were $760. So quite a bit of difference. Not very difficult to change either, as we'll get into in a second, but definitely worth saving a little bit of money. Again, I personally think it should be standard, especially on the Ultimate, if not the Denali, but it is what it is. So another thing to keep in mind, if you saw my video when I picked up the truck, our salesman that sold us the truck and these went over that you have to watch your dealership. There's an MSRP on all of your accessories, just like the vehicle itself. Some dealerships mark up over MSRP for accessories too, so make sure you don't get taken advantage of. While we have these flares off, we're actually going to put these tinted flare or marker lights in too that go into the flare. So not a huge deal to install these, especially when you have the flare off. It's pretty much 2 screws and a plug. These are LED. I'm not so sure the factories actually are LED. We can investigate that, but let me grab the key here. So if we hit the unlock button and these light up, it kind of actually looks funny because it's a narrow section that actually lights up. And I'll show you on these new ones, the LED extends a lot further, so it pretty much covers this whole lens. I do like that these say GMC in them. They might actually be LED in there, but I do like that these say GMC in there. These just say DOT on them, but they're going to look so much better once we get those in. Now again, I say this on a lot of my installs, so if you have your new part handy, just take a look at it. That'll give you a very big idea of how the part's going to come off. So as you can see here, there's just a bunch of plastic clips all around it. There is a spot right here that actually hooks into this little extension piece like the mud flap. I'm gonna see if we can actually pull this flare off without pulling that mud flap off. Now, if you're kind of faint of heart, you might want to turn away because a brand new truck to this caliper, we're going to go ahead and start tearing it apart. And because it's plastic clips, like kind of, almost like a snap together model, this stuff just comes off same way. It's plastic clips, so you just kind of grab underneath and start gently working your way. It sounds absolutely horrible, but as you can see, we're already pulling it apart, and the clips so far are not breaking. I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood here, and we'll get this light unplugged so we can keep going. So there you go. We got the hood popped, and there's that beautiful Duramax engine. We'll get to that at a later date. But if you peek down inside here, it's pretty dark in there. Let me get some light. All right, so with some light, you can see down in there, there's our marker light. You can see all those plastic clips popping through. You could take and squeeze them with a pair of needle nose and help assist pulling them out, but once you get back so far in this area, you're just gonna have to pull and pop them out. Fortunately, the new flares did come with new ones, so if any of them do break, it's not a big deal at all. But it's actually interesting. If you can see right there on that wiring harness, there's a tag with a JM part number, and it says made in China. Well, right here on this clip, there's a little safety. We'll pull that red part back. It releases the safety part, and then you just kind of push in, give it a little wiggle around. With a little persuasion, these do come out. Like I said, there is a safety tab to keep it locked in, and then there's the tab you actually squeeze, and that unplugs. And I think the wiring harness is fine because it's actually into the metal fender, and we're gonna keep actually pulling this. So again, it sounds absolutely horrible, but that's the way they come out. It sounds like you're breaking everything, destroying your brand new truck, but that's the way they come out. So I'm gonna keep working my way right around. I'll let you know if that mud flap has to come off or not. And as you can see, we have that off. So some of the clips did end up breaking. This yellow one still needs to come out, but I can access that from the inside. We look on the back side here. What do we have? They all came out clean. That one broke. That one broke. So it looks like we have 2 or 3 that actually broke. That yellow one actually pulled out of its clip. And some of these weren't actually in there. So there was 1, 2, 3 that were never even in there. But regardless, you do not have to pull that little mud flap off. It just has a tab right there, and it just kind of bends out, pulls right out. So no big deal there. To get this marker light out, there's 2 screws. It is a Torx bit. One there, one there. We'll pull them out and reuse those for our new ones, and we'll keep these around just in case we ever need them. If you did see my other video, like I said, picking this thing up, it does have a scratch on the bed that we are getting repaired, so there is no sense putting the paint match flares on the back of this thing at this time, because the body shop will have to pull them back off, and I don't want to have them on and off a bunch of times. So we're just going to wait on the back, but it's going to be a very, very similar procedure. Now there is 2 flares, or 2 splash shields, mud flaps, whatever you want to call them, little extensions, one on the front, one on the back. So in this case, it's probably going to be easier to remove at least one, and it'll make getting started and pulling around a little bit easier. Man, that looks sad. Brand new truck, 1,000 miles on it, already have it torn apart, but that's the way it goes. That's the way you make them better. So we're going to keep going here, get that marker light swapped around. I'll show you something else to look at when you put these tinted lenses in. So they have 2 options. So they have the amber all the way around. When they light up amber, or the ones I have are actually, that dot is red. So this is actually red in the back and amber in the front. So we'll make sure we put the correct one. They have a yellow sticker and a red sticker. Obviously yellow is going to be amber, red's going to be the red. So we'll make sure we get the right one in, and before we snap this into place, we will definitely plug it in and make sure they mix those stickers up. So I got the new light plugged in, and this is actually the red. We're just going to show you both of them real quick. There is enough pigtail here, so if you did not unclip that before you pulled the flare, there is enough room to pull that out and unclip that when you have more access. Probably an easier way of doing that, to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and unlock this. Takes these a second to kick on. They do kick on. There you go. So that looks so much better. The LED strip is the full width of the or length of the marker light. Obviously that's red, and there's our amber. Again, full width LED. Looks good. It's gonna look a lot better, especially when they're off. Just blends in so much better than that bright kind of sticking out like a sore thumb like the factories. As soon as that light goes off, I'll show you. Instead of that, we have that. These two bolts are a T20 Torx bit. I got them backed out here, and obviously we could leave these in, but our new marker lights did not come with new screws, so we're just going to use the GM screws, and we'll keep these just in case we decide to go back with them. Again, they are a GM marker light with a GMC logo kind of inside, and we can tint these, so always going to be an option. Go ahead and test fit our marker light, and that looks so much better. It actually fits really nice. It's a nice fit in there. We'll go ahead and get those T20 Torx bits back right there and right there, get them tightened up, and then it's just pretty much going to be lining this up and gently pushing to snap all these snaps back in, just like your old snap together model kits. And that's going to be a drastic improvement. Can't wait to see it. A little trick, these new marker lights are not threaded. The holes drilled in there, but they're not threaded. So gently take, and the screws are self-tapping, but work them in and out a little bit. Make your threads in there before you actually install these. And once we have them, we'll take our T20 and just snug all that up. No need to go absolutely crazy. Just snug them up so they don't back out. And again, beautiful. So much better. So we're actually going to plug this in after. We can plug it in right now. Like I said, there's the pigtail, but we're going to plop that inside. I can easily reach in later. We're going to line this bottom up right in there, and we're going to line the rest of this up, and we're just going to start popping away. And they actually pop in way easier than they come out, as you would expect, because once they go in, they kind of lock. Once you have that lined up, we have that first one started, and then we're just kind of lining the rest of these up as we go, and then it's just as simple as pushing. Make sure, I mean, you don't want to force these. Some of these you might have to wiggle around a little bit. There is some play in there, and you can there we go. You can hear it popping in. That's actually completely installed up to there. And as we go here, we'll just kind of move this up and down a little bit and just keep pushing in. Your fender welt liner here does go on the inside of the flare, obviously. So as you work your way around, make sure that is in the proper spot. But we'll just keep working our way. You can hear those clicks. Sounds a lot less painful going back in. So I'm just going to keep going around here. Some of these aren't quite lined up. I'll have to, there we go. Done, done. And I think that's actually installed. What a difference. Man, that looks so much better. Like so much more custom slash premium. Premium, I'm gonna go with premium. That looks so much more premium than that. If you have the Denali and then obviously the Denali Ultimate, that should be standard. What a difference. No comparison. Very, very easy to install. Like I said, the worst part is getting them off, and that's really not that hard either. It's just kind of nerve-wracking because it's expensive brand new truck. And going back inside here, I'll reach down and just plug in that new LED light. You can hear that click. Put our safety on. And we'll unlock it. And there it is. Way better. So much nicer. I think I will like the red in the back too. I mean, that's typically the way it is. Amber in the front, red in the back. So if you see a cross section, like if this was at nighttime, you could immediately see which direction it was headed. And as you would expect from a GM part, that fits phenomenal and looks very good. Yeah, it's a little cleaner than the rest of the truck. The rest of the truck does need washed again. Black is extremely difficult to keep clean. If you never had a black vehicle, you have no idea how hard. You can literally wash this. By the time you get back around to the other side, it's dusty, dirty. Shows every speck of everything, but it does look absolutely gorgeous. Well, there you go, guys. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna do the other front. Like I said, I am gonna hold off on the back just because of we're getting the scratch repaired. But again, it's going to be very similar. Take off probably one of your flares. There's a couple fasteners right in the wheel well, one there, one there, one there. I guess that's 3, and that will be able to come off, and then you can work kind of the same thing. Start down here and work your way right around. Once you get the flare pulled back, you can unplug your marker light. All right, well, that was the very first modification we did. Not really extremely custom, but man, a huge difference that did make. We have another one coming actually in a day or two, depends on when you see this. Another much needed modification. More to come, but one more coming very soon. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.